Hello everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Sarah. We could do intros. Let's see. So I'm Sarah. I work in games. I've been working in games for the past 7, 8 years, and my whole family is from Iran. So I'm more than proud to be here with all of y'all. Um, and I'll pass it over.
Yeah. I'm Arvin. I occasionally stream games and I'm kind of active online. And yeah, me also. I lived in Iran for 20 something years and then moved abroad. So yeah, I'm happy to be here sharing the stories of important stuff going on in Iran.
And I'm Tarja, and I'm from Global Game Jam. So I'm one of those folks. And I actually live in northern Finland, so I'm quite far from Iran, but I have a lot of friends there. I feel for you really, really deeply, and this is really close to my heart. The whole topic and the struggle and fight and all of this going on. And you've been doing an amazing job with this game jam and with everything
Thank you
regarding
so
to
much for
the
being
situation.
here. Thank you for being here, honestly. Yeah, no, this game jam is super important to us. I mean, like I'm so thankful to be a part of it. The organizers were amazing. So if for all of you who don't know, um, there was a 3-day Women Life Freedom Game Jam, which is the chant that people are using in Iran and all over the world to, raise awareness of the basic human rights issues that they are facing, and they want to be free from it. So the game jam is revolving around this theme, and people spent 3 days creating games that spread the message of, women's rights in Iran, the protests that are happening all around. Um, and what better way to do that than make some games, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
It's something that brings us all together, no matter what. Games. Yeah.
It really is. I know, Irene, I'm sure you're like the same as me, but we've been playing games for ever.
Yeah.
And you stream games and make content, and I make games as a living. It's the best way to bring people together over like-minded interests, and just do something that we all collectively enjoy. So this is a great form of media to spread awareness to our people, the gamers.
Yeah, especially now that it's many youngsters in Iran, teenagers, people anywhere from 15 to 25, 35, you see them in the streets. And this generation was raised by the games, learned a lot of things through the games, gained social skills even through the games. So it's kind of a perfect way of raising this awareness, and it's really fitting with the whole theme of things that are going on in Iran. So I'm really excited to see everything that was done in this 3-day game jam.
Likewise, super stoked. Yeah, should we watch
We
some of the
can,
games that have
yes,
been
we can
Yeah,
submitted?
sure,
start
sure.
with we have a trailer actually
Oh, nice.
of the games that were
I'm
created.
ready.
So um, if I can,
I was actually playing through some of them yesterday, and I was emotional. So hopefully, no promises. I'm gonna try not to cry.
But you
um,
can. It's okay. It's
it's
okay.
emotional. It hits you right here.
yeah, it does. Yep, I did my crying therapy 1 hour before, so I played the games an
You're
hour
smart.
before. So yeah, hopefully no tears on my side. Hopefully, yeah.
Man, I don't know how they all
Yeah,
accomplished this in 3 days. That is that is impressive.
really
Just
polished looking games. Just
yeah,
and
man.
what I'm thinking like when I saw that trailer, like the emotional kind of burden people who were making these games had all the time, and
Yeah.
still they did.
Yeah. Yeah, they still pulled through because, it's important to spread the message. Um,
Yeah.
that's people abroad, that's what, we can do to help support this. Just don't let the dialogue die down. Um, and games live on forever, pretty much. So this is I'm so happy to see everything. All
I'm
right.
kind of speechless at the moment.
I know
Yeah.
I know I'm overwhelmed by emotion, but like as we mentioned, the game jam with this theme is
Mhm.
essentially about all the game devs coming together to share their art creations and deliver impactful messages. Like um so all all this in 3 days, and I'm just gonna be sharing all the content that they made forever. I sent it to my dad already. He was looking at stuff last night, and um, I'm excited to show everybody else what they've made.
Yes, it's the same for me. So it was all done 24 games in 3 days and like tens of thousands of impressions over social media on Twitter, on LinkedIn, every platform this was being shared on. So it's and of course because it's a pretty important message to share, it's all over the media, and it's um, some would say, okay, if I can get my news from the traditional media sources, why should I care about these? But like, this is the artistic side because people making these have experienced and gone through all these things, and it comes like it's pouring out of their souls, right? So when you go through with it, when you actually play it, for a moment, if you, even if you're not from Iran, you would feel like, hey, like, wow, I can feel this, I can understand this. So it's no longer a outsider perspective, and it's like the amazing thing that you cannot get from just a news agency. It's not possible to get that, but here you can actually experience it, play it, and like be a part of it, and it's amazing in that regards.
Yeah, and people like me who live like really far, we live basically on the other side of the world. It's sometimes easy to kind of brush off when you read from news and just, okay, it happens somewhere far, it doesn't consider me. Like that's how then you go just on in your daily life. But when you play these games, like you said, you can kind of like little bit get the experience from the point of view of the person who lives through those things. So it makes so much bigger impact than just reading some headlines from the news that are like pushing things out constantly anyways all the time, and you can't even know anymore what is true and what is not. So like this way we also get like correct information.
I honestly hope that, this helps people, as we mentioned. Um, it may not impact you directly, but you have friends. You have friends who it is impacting, and it's important to stay informed and be their pillar of support. Because the world isn't always a perfect place. And we're trying. We're all brothers and sisters, and we gotta help each other, help lift each other up in times of need, crisis, whatever it is that a group may be facing. And right now, the Iranians need that uplifting. So, um, yeah, the Discord server actually ended up having almost 300 people join just to even like support this. So that was neat to see that, you know, people who weren't even able to participate because of work or, you know, their own agendas, they were still posting there being like, hey, I'm a professional, I don't know, game dev. I can offer my time and support for this, and help you all make the game that you're trying to make. And that was just beautiful to see. Especially since in Iran, there's like 23 million gamers there. They This is what they like to do. There's an active gaming scene with like esports, content creators, and just, you know, developers um, making a whole variety of PC, console games, mobile. And, you know, if given all the resources that the rest of the world has, there's so many talented people there. They they can make the next big thing. Um, so Iranians are smart, smart people. Cool. All right.
And
Let's. Should we
yep,
check out some stuff, or should we?
definitely. But to give some context beforehand, for people that may not already know exactly what is going on, there is we can briefly go over a kind of timeline of what has happened in Iran. So everything changed on 16th of September 2022 with the death of Mahsa Amini, and she was a girl from a Kurdish part of Iran. She was visiting the capital city, and the morality police kind of took her for not agreeing with the way that she was wearing her hijab. And I should emphasize that she was wearing hijab, just not to their liking. And she died in their custody. There are just not proper answers given by the government. They try to do some cover-ups. They try to provide some videos, but the videos were cut, edited, and they didn't include specific parts of her journey to the custody and what had happened there. So it was a devastating news for all of the country. It was something unheard of. So the next day, it was in front of the Kasra hospital, the hospital that she passed away in, that there were demonstrations happening. And afterwards, we, for the first time, again, heard the Woman Life Freedom chant, which is going on hand in hand with Mahsa Amini's name as the two pillars of this movement, right? So it basically shows everything that this movement represents. And there were different acts by the activists, cutting their hair, removing the hijab, burning the forced hijabs that they were putting on. And early on, it got some media attention. It was even picked up by the hacker group Anonymous. They're a hacktivist group which try to do good, and they declared cyber war against the Iranian regime, saying that they support this movement. They are trying to help the Iranian people. And there were a lot of things going wrong with the government. Instead of trying to accept and apologize for what was happening, trying to do better, they instead tried to crack down on the people, try to stop the protests, and they used any force they could. They tried shutting down the internet. And after that, we had countless deaths, hundreds of people that have died, tens of thousands that are still in custody right now, waiting for God knows what. And recently we had two executions of people saying that on the basis of them fighting against God's will. So But what they had actually done was one person had just blocked a road and also had a fight with one of the Iranian regime's supporter members, and the other person also had one of these fights, and the person was it's crazy to think about how blocking a road would be equal to fighting God and end up with execution. So yeah, this and it's been crazy. I'm of course going over, just skipping a lot of the details that we will see in the games and we will talk about, but this is generally what has been happening. And this time, thankfully, the world is listening, the world is trying to do better, and it's really amazing to see this support coming. It's one of the best parts of what we're seeing in Iran, because there have been protests before, but the world was a bit more silent. But this is not the case this time, which is amazing. Yeah.
Speaking of the unjust executions, again, to the people abroad, it's important to be their voice. If you can, please do reach out to your government officials, make calls, write emails. These people didn't do anything wrong. Going against God is, in their eyes, the government and the officials. So if there's anything in your power that you could do, it's please contact your government officials wherever you are.
Yep. And let's go to the games. Actually, the first one is called Leave the Kids Alone. And this is based on the support that Roger Waters gave this movement. He had a tweet and he wrote, Ayatollahs, leave them kids alone, as a reference to the song. And we can actually watch some gameplay of this.
The game's
amazing
name instantly like hit me when I saw the game's name. I was like,
yeah. So I think you should be able to see it. So this is a story of a girl in Iran, and she's trying to go to school. She needs to pack her bag and take the things that she needs. And it's her friend's birthday, so. But one thing that you instantly see is like she's not allowed to take any makeup, because then that would be an issue. She's not allowed to have that, and no magazines, because it would be taken away. Like she doesn't have a right to have this type of fun going on for her. And when she needs to get dressed, she cannot have a dress. She needs to go with their specific dress code of long, loose, and
don't show your body in any way. Yeah,
very hiding clothing.
But she's still taking a risk with her headband to express herself.
Yes. And this was every morning from when I was 7 until 18. I experienced this.
Getting in line for school, and
chantings and everything, and you would actually get in trouble if you didn't properly follow what they were saying. So like
things like this, even I had no idea.
Yeah, it's
sad though, because like Iranians love Americans. Like anytime I would go to Iran, despite me being Iranian, they're like, "Are you from America?" And they just loved it. Like these chants do not represent what the people are actually feeling. They're just forced into it.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
even
there's
with the proper clothing, they still
they always
you would be
find
picked on.
something to
Yes.
scold you for.
Yeah, this makes me somehow really anxious.
Yeah.
And it's happening to girls from an early age of
I think
7, 8,
7,
9.
8, or 9.
It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Kids, they are little
exactly.
kids still.
Yeah. So at the age 9, they have something they call Jashne Taklif, which means the responsibility ceremony, which after that the girl is supposed to follow the strict rules that they dictate,
Yeah.
and they essentially scare you in it's almost not almost it's exactly like a torture of the mind, saying if your hair is outside, in the other world you would be hanged by these hairs that you had outside, even if it's one string, and like things like that, like be careful, always pray to God, otherwise you would go to hell. And it's just scare tactics one after each other at an early age, and it asks amazing questions. So the girl is asking, like, are you praying to God because you're scared of hell? Like, I thought you actually loved God. Like, I thought that was the reason that you were supposed to pray, not that I would be scared of him or her. So it's the way that these questions go, it hits hard and in the right place, actually.
And that asking too many questions.
Yes.
You should not ask too many questions.
Yeah. Stay silent and stay in line.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's mandatory fact checks and
Yeah. And it's today is the Valentine's Day, so the gift that she had bought for her friend, they're thinking that it's for a boyfriend or he's doing something wrong. Which, even if she has a boyfriend, like, so what? But
yeah, who cares? But they're not allowed.
Yeah. And even when the principal realized that she had made a mistake and mistaken the purpose of the gift, she says, like, you're lucky this time, like as if it's her fault, and like the principal is just letting her off the hook.
It's crazy that there's so much going on in their lives. Like, her brother was injured, but still she comes to school the next day. Like,
Yeah.
women, life, freedom.
So this is the first game.
It's beautiful.
It's one of the few games that when you think about it, when you think about your childhood, and like if you were fortunate enough not to experience this, it hits hard. And if you were unfortunate enough to experience this, it just brings back all the trauma and all of the stress of things that are supposed to be just normal life, but then you have to pay an expensive price for it, and people are doing that right now with their lives in Iran.
And I think it's important to note that, like, this movement isn't anti-religion. People are free to choose whatever faith it is that they want. It's the fact that religion is being used as a twisted way to force people in line, and they just want to be free to be able to express themselves while still practicing their faith in whatever way that they choose. So,
Yeah, and
uh,
I've been asked like how can you support this? But like you are Muslima, you are wearing hijab. How can you support this? Like how I couldn't. Like these are people
yeah,
being like straight up brainwashed, being tortured, being murdered. Like
yeah,
of course I support everyone's right, like to live as they live, to wear whatever they want to wear. Like like I just like I said, I live in Finland. For me, it's like it feels really distant that I should like someone could tell me what I can or cannot wear, or who can I be friends with,
yeah,
or where can I go and with whom, and what I can like any like aspect of my life that someone would be. Of course, there are laws that we are following, but like that kind of that intrigue, like our personal space and our like um, freedom of self expression,
hmm,
and like tying our whole personality. Like it just, of course,
yeah.
I support this. Like,
Thank you for
how
your
couldn't
support.
I
Yeah,
support?
Yeah,
That's
and it's
the question.
yeah, and it's also the other way around. Right now, we're fighting for people that do not want to be forced to wear the hijab, be oppressed, to have their rights. And if there would be a regime, a system that would force you not to wear hijab, these very same people would be fighting against that. So it's not dependent on the religion as much as they are actually trying, the Iranian regime is really trying to push this as an agenda of Islamophobia. But the problem is they're not really representing Islam, and they're doing what they want in the name of Islam. Just the same way that like terrorist groups use Quran or Islam as a way to push their agenda. So of course they're not representing the will of God or anything like that. So it goes both ways for everyone in Iran, and I'm definitely sure if we were in a situation where people were forced to remove their headscarves, the same people would be shouting in streets supporting those people's choice.
It's about control,
hmm,
like wanting to be just free.
Exactly. Yeah. And the next game, if you are interested in, is
very interested.
yes, it's Mariam's story. And so this starts with the Iranian Revolution, where Mariam is just a child and she is learning to run, to walk, to jump, and like going through simple life experiences.
آفرین بدو بدو.
Yeah, Iranian phrases for
Yeah.
it's
So now it's
1985, the revolution.
after.
Art style is really nice in this one.
Yes.
The way the colors shift, kind of.
Yeah. And also, one thing that I really liked about this game is how it shows like the control that you're getting. You can literally see them as these buttons on bottom of the screen. Like these are the things that I can do right now, and I'm allowed to do that. And
Yeah.
now this is like what used to be called comité, like they just shamed you, like saying that you're indecent and immodest and like you're not allowed to do this and that. And like she's now taking away your key, like so you can no longer jump, and like you can see it visually even on the screen, which is amazing the way they portrayed this.
They have so many dreams of stuff that they want to do, but they're so limited.
And simple things like playing the guitar, singing, like a woman
Dancing.
singing
Yeah.
alone in Iran is like not allowed. It's
hmm
crazy. For some reason,
I think the sound is a little low.
okay, yeah. Is it even there? Because I cannot.
I hear it.
Okay. Okay, how about now? Is it better?
A little. It's beautiful guitar playing.
Yeah.
But now she's being harassed again.
Like I've played instruments all my life, and my daughter plays instruments, and I couldn't really imagine
Yeah. No, it's
being told not to.
Yeah, and like the man here is threatening, calling the morality police and saying, but we can maybe work something out, and giving her an indecent offer.
yeah.
Yeah. And when she refuses, she just gets angry, takes away her guitar, and just tells her to get lost.
The thing that she works so hard to get, you know?
Yeah. And also, she can no longer walk in that direction because she was told not to be there, to go away.
Like small things, but so powerful.
Yes, it's amazing. So this was Mariam's story, and it's not only Mariam's story, of course, it's the story of a lot of women who have experienced life in Iran.
You know, actually, the ending song as well is one of the Iranian rappers sang it, and it's about. I wish there was an English version so that people could understand it, but the lyrics just are talking about the oppression that happens in Iran and just the hope for a brighter future. It's a beautiful song.
Indeed. So it's about Modirf here, which is like opposite of freedom. They just swapped the whole word. And it's a promise of a wonderland where you can, as long as you're doing what you're told, you would be happy, and you can even buy the happiness from the vending machines. And
there's always a catch.
Yeah. And it's like, I just have to listen. As long as I listen, like, he knows best, and she's earning just by following the orders.
Yeah, but Ariana just doesn't feel good despite all this.
And she blames herself. She says, maybe I'm not going right well enough. Like, maybe I'm the problem, that I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And as soon as she gives up on listening to the Modirf, the world
starts
suddenly
seeing
has colors. Yeah.
But now she's seeing the hidden side that they didn't want her to see. Oh, so they're just they're stuck in this cycle.
Yeah. So from now on, the game shows different types of people stuck in this world, in this town called Mudirv, and the lady. So this is the slave, and he's tirelessly trying to do everything correctly. And even now that Ariana is telling him about this, he's just saying, okay, this is unfortunate for you because you ignored the test that you had, and now you're trying to stop me. You're a disbeliever. Like, you are the problem. He's not even willing to listen because he's obsessed.
Mm.
And now we have the desperate. They have realized that it's all been a lie, but they've given up the hope. They just want to be gone. They don't want to try or do anything. They just gave up. And that's the code. Like, they're not putting on any efforts to see the colors, to have that. And
They're just so discouraged by all the lies that they've been fed that life just seems bleak.
And that's something I've heard as well, people in Iran saying that hope would kill me, and it just breaks my heart.
yeah.
Like, it tells a lot.
Well,
And now the extremist, he has been freed. He knows everything is a lie, but because of that, now he wants to destroy anything built upon the Mudirf town and the way that it goes. So he doesn't realize that by doing that, he's also putting everyone else in danger. So you're tearing the very fabric of the society by doing this, and it's just the wrong approach to be extremist in this case.
this game is so beautiful as a
It's
tangent.
amazing.
Yeah.
And now she's finally meeting a survivor. It kind of represents people that have lived in Iran, moved abroad. They're trying to live a normal life, and they have kind of given up on helping others. But Ariana wasn't like this. Like, even though the survivor said, just be here with us, you don't need to continue, you don't need to go anywhere, but she goes back. She's trying to make something happen, which is
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's for those who are privileged enough to, not be in that situation anymore. It's so important to help out. So I am inspired by what Ariana was doing, especially as someone who I live in America right now,
Yeah.
and but that doesn't stop me from wanting to go back to my roots and help folks out in any way I can over there.
Yes, exactly. And one thing that maybe it would be good to mention is that, like, after this game jam for the Women Life Freedom, there will be a another event for the digital art. So if you know someone that would be interested, definitely let them know. If you don't, share the message, because it's an important one. You would be actually helping a lot of people out, and the nation of Iran would be thanking you for that. So definitely do that.
Please get all your artist friends to participate.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Yeah. And the next game is actually called Women Life Freedom. and this one hits hard. So it was one of the, yeah.
I was playing this yesterday and I had to stop a few times and just cry.
Yeah. So at first you feel a pain in your head, and then you wake up in middle of streets of a place that you have no idea where it is, and you're trying to figure out what is happening to you, and you're this girl in red walking around, and the first thing you see is a boy looking around for something. And the boy is talking about a boat, a missing boat that he had made.
I want to mention that these are all real people.
Yes.
You'll get to know their stories a little bit more. But each person's story in this game, the photos you're seeing, they lived. They were real. They had hopes and dreams. I don't want to say any more to spoil the game, but
yeah. So the boy mentions that his name is Kian, and like he's looking for his boat, but when she properly looks at the girl, she says, "Oh, wait, you're Masa," and like Kian recognizes her, but she's confused as of why she is recognized in this city that she doesn't know where it is and like what's going on. So when she asks him for more information, he says, "Just go ask others. I am not able to give you the full context of this." And then there is this girl chanting in the streets, asking for her rights, and when she notices Masa, she instantly recognizes her and says, "Hey, like, it's amazing that you're here with us." And you as Masa still don't know like what's going on, and you just know that this girl is named Mika, and that everyone, she tells you that everyone knows about you. Like, what are you talking about? You're kind of famous. So she's chanting this to the dictator, talking about things that are going wrong, and you're telling her that, like, be careful of the police, they won't go easy on you, like, they're harsh people, they might do things that you wouldn't want to happen to anyone living in the world. But she doesn't care, she says, like, that's the price for freedom, like, if that's the cost I'm willing to pay.
yeah, and it's insane how even that cost is a cost that people are willing to fight for.
Yeah.
It shows how important this is.
Yeah.
And I highly encourage people who are watching this, if you're not familiar with the names that you're seeing here, please look them up. Look up Kian, look up Nika, and really like understand their stories.
Yeah. So, since we're a bit short on time, I will try to kind of skim over different parts. So now you're seeing a man called Khodanur, and he also recognizes Masa and talks about that people were in the streets of his hometown because of her and shouting her name. So after a while you go on and you meet another person, and it's this girl called Sarina, and She's just talking about football, talking about social media and life and how things are not going the way that they're supposed to for her to have a nice life. And she recognizes Massa, and she starts talking to her about everything that is going wrong. And you try to like borrow her phone, ask like what is going on.
Women in Iran are not allowed to go to sporting events, watch soccer, anything like that. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Like based on your gender, you're not allowed to be
enjoy
present.
things. Yeah.
Be there in the moment, shout and cheer for your team, have
Yeah.
fun, and instead you're stuck at home watching it through TV. And there was actually a girl called the Blue Girl. She was a supporter of a famous team in Iran called Istiqlal, and she had to wear clothing and makeup in a way that she would look like
Like
a
a
boy
man. Yeah.
to go in to the stadium. And afterwards she this is the most one of the most heartbreaking stories. She burned herself and set herself on fire after things that happened with the government and the crackdown that they had on her. And it was
There's actually a movie on that. I don't know if there's subtitles for folks who can't speak Farsi, but there is a movie telling her story and, you know, just showing what she had to go through to partake in soccer, in football.
yeah. And this is Mershad, I think, a boy with the dream of becoming a chef, and there are videos of him on social media doing cinematic things, making pizza and everything, and he was so obsessed and in love with this dream of becoming a chef. And he's actually the one that has found Kian's boat, so we're going back to Kian to give the boat to him. And Mershad mentions that we're all here for a reason, like we're all here together. So, and when we talk to Kian, he finally breaks the news to us that we are all in a stage of afterlife. So all of these people that you're meeting are people that have died because of the Iranian government, and now they're trying to use Kian's boat to go to the afterlife together. So this one was one of the games that was really, really hard to go through
Yeah.
and play. So you can do the chant of woman life freedom. till the end.
You know, a lot of these people were fighting for freedom and they were killed. But a lot of them were just going about with their days
Yeah.
and just got hit in the crossfire. So it's sad.
Yeah, and the government, honestly, at this point, they don't even care who they're getting. It's so crazy because one of my friends that was arrested for 25 days, and he had mentioned that even there were people inside that were on the government's side. So yeah, one person was there because he was trying to spray over the chants that people write over the walls, and they thought that he was the person writing them. So, and he's on government side, but he's inside, so they don't care. Like if they see you near anything, they don't care if you seem to be on their side or not, you're going to jail. You're going
They'll
to
get you.
prison.
They'll round you up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they don't
it's
seem to investigate much. Yeah.
No.
no, definitely not. It's
Is it even possible to get like a, maybe this might be a really stupid question, but I ask it anyway. Is it even possible to get like a fair trial? Is
There,
there a possibility for that?
I have heard that people are getting lawyers that aren't contacting them back, things like that. So, it appears no. Some people have been released. I don't know the pattern
yeah.
behind it. I genuinely, I don't know.
But to get an idea of how fair this is, the two journalists that broke the news of Mahsa Amini, they were jailed, sent to prison, and their lawyers were also sent to jail and are currently in prison. So even their lawyers could not represent them, and their lawyers are not responding to any public media thing going on. So like the people that are supposed to be representing them are also in prison right now, and it's and they're being charged with being poisoned by the West and being spies and making lies to like make people mad at the government. The very journalists that are just sharing what the news and the facts are on the ground. So it's yeah, it's pretty crazy the way that it goes. Yeah, but that's as close to a trial that as you can get there.
And the executions are fast following. One of the executions happened just 18 days after getting arrested. So it's unfair.
Yeah, and it's a sometimes like it's an irreversible decision, right? Even if you mistakenly give someone a life sentence and then you realize you did something wrong, you can reverse that if you want to be a fair government, a fair regime. But instead, what happens is they go with something that has no coming back. Like if you realize that you messed up, if you, well, you know you've messed up, but like if you had a small inch of dignity and you wanted to do the right thing, you can't do that anymore. And then you put pressure on their families, put them on house arrest, you monitor all their calls and everything, and you pressure them into telling lies and not talking about people that are arrested. So right now it's at least 15,000 people arrested. We don't know name of more than a few thousand. And people, the ones that I know many people that were arrested and their families begged us not to talk about them because they thought the government would do worse if their voices were heard. And it's a very strange situation, and they are trying to do everything to have a cover up for every person's story. So you don't get shot in the street, you commit suicide, you jumped off of a rooftop, you didn't die of like us doing anything to you, you died of a heart attack. And when you see the age, it's like 18, 20, 22 years old. Like heart attack, 22 years old, like
Yeah.
come on, like at least do better, be a better dictatorship, be better liars. Like what are you doing? Like why are you trying to
Cover
make
up.
things worse for everyone? It's crazy the way that they're doing things. And this next game is actually about
Exactly that. Yeah.
exactly that. So you're a person working in the forensic part of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and your job is to go over people's forms and just change them to what they want it to be. So you can read like where this person was born, where they died, and everything. And you have to fill in the form and just talk about it.
All right, so that one was
It
accurate.
seemed real. Yeah, a
This one seems
72-year-old.
accurate. Yeah. Let's see the next one. Okay, yeah, so this person, Masa Amini, that we all know, was shot in the head, but they're saying that they died from tumor complications. Manner of death, natural.
And then these are the certificates and like things used as facts by the Iranian media to say, hey, no, this actually hasn't happened, and try to whitewash their crimes. So it's like, no, she wasn't hit by gunfire 6 times. It was like,
Actually, something else.
yeah. And it's crazy that you would even try to call that
A heart attack.
natural
Yeah.
manner of death for someone to have a heart attack at 22 years old. It's
Yeah. Again, this person, they're trying to frame it as a suicide.
And this one is Sarina. She was just 16 years old. She had a really small YouTube channel. She wanted to make it as a vlogger, and she had vlogs with her family, going everywhere, talking about her life, talking about school and everything. And like, I cannot go like watch more than 1 minute of her videos being full of life, full of joy, and then they claim that this person tried to die by suicide, and they even used her phone, her social media account, to make change one of her previous posts. They edited that to seem like she attempted suicide, but they didn't even realize that when you're doing that on like a Telegram channel, it shows that the date that you have edited it, and the edit date was after her death. So they tried everything to do a cover up, but it was just so clear that that's not the case. Again, another person jumping from a rooftop, and it's
Nika, this is actually the person that was in the previous game, right, as the rebellious girl. So if y'all remember her from the previous game, this is her. Right? I think.
yeah, exactly. Nika Shaikarami.
Yeah. Yep.
And this one, it's, as you mentioned, people getting stuck in the crossfire of things going wrong. In Zahedan,
They were born in
she's
2015.
just 7 years old, and because of tear gas and inhaling that and everything, they're saying that now she's gone.
And you know, these protests have been going on. What month are we on? We're past 4. Right? Are we on
We are exactly on 3 months right
3,
now.
4?
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Going on to 4.
exactly.
soon.
Yeah.
So this has just been the state of what's been going on for the past many months.
And it's crazy, like each of these, like, it's, you think it's just a name, but it's like a whole life behind it, and like you're just covering it up and tossing that life away like this. It's
And this is Khoda Nur, who was in the previous game as well.
Yes. And the attention to details is pretty accurate, where you see the Iranian supreme leader of the Islamic Republic on the right side in an image with a general of the IRGC, which was actually killed by the Trump administration in Syria, and so like you can see their image and the Islamic Republic's flag behind them in that image.
For people who don't know, the flag was changed after the regime. Before, there was in the center a lion and sun holding, swords. That was the flag of the people.
Yeah, and they replaced it with this new sign, which is a form of writing Allah, which would be the Islamic God. And even the previous symbol on the Iranian flag was actually very Islamic, because the sword in the hand, they called it the sword of Ali, and it was like one of the Islamic figures of like the Shia faith. And so it wasn't that it was a unholy symbol. They just wanted to have their own claim and their own say on this.
And note that they're causing the cause of death for these folks. They're putting terrorist attack. The regime is actually blaming protesters, the peaceful protesters who are being attacked, as the terrorists. So
خدا نور است، خدا مهساس، خدا سلطان قلب نیکاست، خدا تو کوچه ها امروز شهامت در وجود ماست، خدا تو ماج، خدا صالح، خدا امروز دوتا باله که باید برکشید با اون، وگرنه معصیت داره، خدا زلفای در باده، خدا ایران آباده، خداوند گوهر عشقیست که تا مرگ پای ستاره، خدا از ما، خدا با ماست، خدا امید برا فرداست، خدا اسمش عوض میشه، یه روز عرفان، یه روز اسراس، یه روزم تو خیابوناست، تو با امید می جنگه، یه روز شال روی چوبه، یه روز قیچی برا موهاست، خدا خونه ندامونه، خدا یلدا، خدا پویاست، خدا تو روز نامیدی کنار برکه یک دورناست. خدا اون تیکه یه نونیست که مهراب داشت میچرخوند،
یه دلیل مدرک که فرمانی لعنتی نیست که بگیم ما گناهکاری ما نخواستم
قلبو
فهمیدم دنبال یه گردن برای سلام میگردن.
فریاد این نسل که از تصویر بیزاره، خدا وجدان و آگاهیست، خدا هر لحظه بیداره، صدایی رو سرم میگه خدا اینجاست تو آینه، پاشو امروز خدایی کن که راز زندگینه. اینا هی از حسین گفتن رقیه زینب و اصغر دیدید چه رونقی داره تجاوزها به یک دختر خدا با ظلمی جنگ خدا مفهوم آزادیست خدا پایان این شبها نوید میهن آبادیست خدا زن زندگی آزادی و پایان این درداست خدایا نور رو برگردون رهاش مادرم ایران.
That was very emotional.
Yeah, I should have seen this one coming because the same thing happened every time I tried to
Yeah.
play this one. But
Yeah,
yes,
regardless of whether, you've seen this, played it before, it still hits you hard.
it does. Yeah, it's
Is this song separately somewhere found?
yes.
Yeah.
So it's called Khoda Nur is the name of the song, and I can try to find the name of the two people that had
We
made
we
this
could
song.
probably link the song in the chat for
Exactly.
folks
Okay, yeah,
who are
I
interested.
think I found it and I will put it in the chat. It's Khoda Nur by Erdogan Hatami and Babak Amini, which I will link in the chat for everyone.
Cool. If we could also link it in the Twitch chat, that would be great too, so other people can listen. There's a lot of music that is being shared around that, represents the heart and soul of what the Iranian people are feeling and going through right now. So, but they are in Farsi.
Yeah.
But still, by giving them listens and views, it's still very important. Shall we check out the next game?
Definitely. So the next one is called the True Colors. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. So let's see. Okay. And I think now everyone should be able to see it. Yes.
So the world starts very bleak and gray.
You're this one girl and with your sound you're adding color to the other women, and then there is the police chasing after you for doing that, and you have to run from them.
So she's essentially risking a lot to be able to spread this it's joy to the world, it's hope, it's like a rally cry,
I love the background actually being a progress bar showing that the city is being filled with the joy. It's now more and more people are actually colorful, whereas in the beginning it was no one, it was just you.
You know, it'd be really cool if, as you're making other people colorful, they're also going around and turning other people colorful as well. So it's not just, you know, the burden doesn't lie on just one person.
Yeah.
But it starts with one.
Exactly.
Now she's being surrounded. But then everyone else comes in support.
And it's putting emphasis on the women's voice, something that for the past 43 years they were not allowed to sing in public,
Yeah,
be
show or
heard in public
express.
like that. Yeah, so this was the true colors. It was a more upbeat and optimistic part of this movement, because, like, of course, a lot of things are happening and it's very unfortunate, but it's people's will and joy and power that is like keeping everything going, and like without that nothing would happen. So it's pretty important to also emphasize on that. And then the last one that we're going to take a look at is called a sad road, and it's essentially helps you be educated through a timeline of events happening throughout these protests and everything. So you can see women going into this dark place and then coming up with and in the background you can see 3 government agents and 1 protester.
All these games have really good sound design, by the way.
They really do.
So good atmosphere.
And we haven't been able to even go over even half of them because like it's been 24 games, right? And we are only seeing 7 because of the limited time that we have. So definitely if you have the time, go check them out. The links will be available in the chat and it will be shared. So definitely use those links, play them for yourself, experience these. Seeing a game and playing it is two completely different experiences. So definitely do that.
Yeah, please check out all the work that people have put their free time into. It's inspiring.
Yeah, and I should mention that many of these people, some in Iran, it's so hard for them to have access to the proper tools to do game development because of the sanctions and the way that the government has caused all of these problems. So what you're seeing being done in 3 days by people with limited access to tools, it's just amazing.
I would love to bring them all here and start a studio.
Yeah.
Man, this is insane because this is what people are fighting against right now. And you know, the regime even does random invasions into people's houses nowadays. This music pumps me up.
Yeah.
I would totally listen to it on loop if it was on Spotify or something.
You can feel the anxiety with the sound and running and all of the gunshots and everything.
It's so emotional. It's so empowering.
Yeah, and that's it. So it's supposed to end here, but we have kind of done over recording, I think, on this part. But yeah. So.
Man, we saw just a fraction of some of the games that were created, and they were all. I think they spread the message so well. I've said a lot during this live stream, but I'm genuinely currently at a loss for words at just how everyone banded together for this. So to all the participants, honestly, thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts. Thanks for being the voice of the people over in Iran. I guess a few takeaways if you're joining us a little bit late, or if you want to figure out ways that you can support this movement in any way. Sharing videos, photos, information, these games that people created, just share them. Keep the conversation going, keep talking about it, because it's important to not let the dialogue die out. The people in Iran really need your support, your energy to keep them going. Talk about this in public places, on official forums, channels, and contact your government officials and see if they can help out in any way. Because politicians from other countries outside of Iran can volunteer to become political sponsors of folks that are in custody right now and need your help. Unfortunately, we cannot get them a lawyer, but by contacting official authorities, we can make some sort of like safety margin for the protesters. Yeah, that's
And
what I
something,
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
something I want to say is that I think no woman is stranger to this ideology of being controlled in some way at some part of their lives. So we all have at least some sort of like gotta like creep to what it is to be told how you should be and who you should be and what you should dream of. So those who are having it like better and easier and more free can think of it that way, that what if even those basic rights of just even thinking your own thoughts would be
Yeah.
taken away from you and you were punished for having those own opinions.
Yeah. And we're not just fighting for people, but we're also fighting for the animals of Iran. Dogs are not allowed on the streets in Iran. They're killed, they're rounded up and killed. So, if you're an animal person, do it for the animals. If not for anything else, like please just find a cause that really speaks to you and fight for it.
Yeah, and it's not only Iran. So the way that the government and the regime is right now, if there is a tangible change happening, it would affect not only there but also all of the Middle East, and based on that, all of the Europe, all of the East Asia, all of the United States, American continents, everywhere in the world would be affected. So it's because it's an important geopolitical country. So even small changes in this country would have effects in other places. And it's even right now, one example is like there is the war going on in Ukraine, and the Iranian regime is providing drones for essentially suicide drones that go and blow up in residential areas in Ukraine. They use them to attack the people of Ukraine, and a change in this system would be a change in the world. It's not like you're doing charity for someone else. You're doing yourself a favor. You're doing the world a favor. You're making everything better by doing that. So it's pretty important to do that, and definitely contact your representatives, your people in the parliament, senate, any place that you have access to. Ask them, even basic things. Ask them to talk about this. Tell them that you expect them to talk about this in the next parliament meeting. Tell them that it's important that the country takes a stance on this in the United Nations. And we had that happening like yesterday, where the Islamic Republic was removed from the Women's Rights Council of the United Nations based on their actions against the women. So and this wouldn't be possible just by the people of Iran, because of course we're all humans, but they are your representatives. They want your vote. They listen to you. And if you say, hey, I want this to happen, if it doesn't happen, you're not getting my vote. They care. Even if, like, on a personal level, they don't want to care. Even if they're selfish people, they need to care because they want to be in the parliament, in the politics, and they need you to do that. So use your voice, use your vote to make good things happen like that. And be aware, one last thing I wanted to mention is that be aware that there are Islamic republics lobby organizations all over the world, in United States, in Europe, actively lobbying and trying to make things better, their relationships with the West, trying to make less damage happen to their regime. And so be careful when you hear someone talking about this on different traditional news medias, when you read some news that claims to come from the people of Iran. Some of the things, if the narrative is serving the regime, it's because they're spending millions and millions of dollars to make that happen. So it's important for you to be informed about that and try to follow the news from people and see what is going on actually inside the country. And the last thing is the upcoming digital art event. So definitely let others know about this, talk about it, share it, and make it happen. It's very, very exciting. So yeah.
Details will be coming soon, so just keep up to date. They'll share the website, the Twitter, in the Twitch chat down below. So keep an eye on it. If you know any artists, if you are an artist, if you want to just try art, please take part in it. And again, thank you all so much for being here. Zan Zendegi Azadi, for a hope for a better future. Baraye
Indeed.
Azadi.
Yep. And I wanted to also thank the people that hosted this game jam, make this happen. It's pretty amazing. Thank you for all your support and doing this, and also Tarja, you for being here, and people in the background doing their best to make things go as smoothly as possible. We really appreciate it. Everyone in Iran definitely appreciates it. And as Sarah said, there is nothing more important than Zan Zendegi Azadi, or women life freedom, for us right now. And we're forever grateful that you're making this happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.